So today we're going to be reviewing Man of God.
Isn't it The Man of God?
Why'd you say so?
Poster says The Man of God.
The film says Man of God.
Aka called it
The Man of God.
IMDb said Man of God.
Africa on Netflix YouTube channel calls it The Man of God.
2 hours later.
Netflix calls it Man of God.
But Netflix also calls it The Man of God.
Wow.
Let's just call it what it is.
Alright guys, today we will be reviewing Mount Zion Way Disguise.
Hi everyone, welcome to Iroko Critic.
Critics with Receipts.
I'm Mrs. Critic.
And I'm Mr. Critic.
And we're here with our new system having editor, Donatus.
Donatus, say hello. Nice of you to have volunteered your salary.
Damn bloody fool.
Please give us synopsis.
Samuel forsakes his harsh religious upbringing to live his own life, but his soul remains caught between the world and the faith he left behind.
Okay, Mr. C, can I please do a more accurate reading of the plot?
What's wrong with mine?
False advertising.
Oh, okay.
Samuel, the son of an abusive pastor, is beaten for being a child and then ends up running away from home and is forced to fend for himself. Miraculously, he doesn't end up being an armed robber or a Yahoo boy, but he does end up dealing in generic, not well thought out shady things. And when it doesn't go right, he returns to his abusive father with his tail tucked between his legs, which means he should have stayed with his abusive father the whole time.
First off, that was very long. Secondly, what about the whole part about his soul remaining caught between the world and the faith he left?
It doesn't exist. There is no real battle. This movie is a perverse tale of the prodigal son with a critique of fast life intertwined with mild critique of new shiny Pentecostalism.
Right, okay, fair. We're still at the plot, you know.
It's worth spending some time because this feels like a mess of a movie.
Yeah, I don't disagree. After watching the trailer, a lot of us thought it was going to be a look at how a powerful man of God abuses his power. Some people even think it's this guy's sub.
How did that man know?
But it wasn't a critique on pastors with power, was it?
No, because Samuel isn't portrayed as a real pastor. He has no interest in church.
I told you, me, I don't like church business.
No, actually, you tell me every single day. Actually, every day you tell me.
Until a babe he likes shows up or people mention church can be lucrative. The critique of Samuel as a pastor are really shallow things like clothing,
Dressing very carnal.
and jewelry, and the type of songs he could sing in church,
There has been concerns about the song you have been singing.
and whatever this is from Pastor Undersized Suits.
The pressure to just be that person that everyone wants you to be, that man of God who's the best dressed, has the biggest church, newer technology, bigger buildings. It's just, for me, it was too much. I felt like I was getting to that point where I would be manipulating people for money. And it just didn't sit right with me. I felt like I could serve God just as well from the congregation as from the pulpit.
Wait, Mawuli didn't take his shirt off in this movie?
Are you mad? When Aka is around, there's no need for naked Mauli.
Leave me alone!
So what is this film really about?
No clue.
That was rhetorical. I was going to answer it
Oh
by
yeah,
myself.
no.
Here's where this film gets reprehensible. It's the story about the prodigal son who leaves his father.
Abusive father leaves his abusive father.
Okay. And goes into the world, does all the terrible things before returning back to his father.
Abusive father.
Okay, yeah, I get it. He's abusive.
Well, the movie wanted you to know that. I mean, over and over again. It's the reason Samuel leaves, and the worst part is there is nothing to indicate that Samuel's father has changed.
I just imagine when they got home from service, his father beating him like, so not only did you end up in prison, you also came late to church.
Don't bust my head off. Head down, man down.
Okay, but I get your point. It certainly doesn't work as a critique of religion.
It also doesn't work as the plot you read out.
I can't believe we're still at the plot. We need to do the good and the bad.
It doesn't work out as the plot you read out because there is no show of his soul struggling between the faith he left behind and his new life. Every time Samuel makes a decision to appear religious, it is for obvious selfish reasons.
Agreed. Okay, can we do the good now?
The only part of this that works as a story is as a grotesque prodigal son story.
I agree. Can we do the good now? This is a great performance from DSF. Like some of the most fun performance I've seen on screen since Butchie's performance in Rattlesnake.
I knock you well.
Yes, please.
Mrs. C?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to take the next good?
Mm-mm.
Well.
Call me when we're at the bad.
Okay. This film looks nice and different. I really like the use of this wide lens. It's a little different from what we're used to seeing, and I appreciated that. Maybe some Nollywood film has used this lens in the past, but I haven't seen it or I don't recall it. And I just love the look. It's different and mesmerizing.
God bless you.
Otas does well as a simp character where
If that's what she is.
Well, come on, she's been throwing herself at Samuel and is humiliated when her friend just waltzes in and steals her man.
I prefer Mariah's take from Nollywood Film Club.
I don't think she's a simp. I think she's kind of a predator. Because she saw this man in his dirty room in his pants with alcohol on the floor. And she said, oh, I'm going to pray for you. And I'm going to hold you. And then I'm going to marry you. Yeah. And I'm going to get you in the church. And you're going to stay by my side. And then if you try me, I'm going to destroy you. What rubbish is that? Like, she's delusional.
This is a good session, Mrs. C.
Round it up. I have work to do.
Wow. Aka has some good moments.
I want you to know that you have my heart.
Shut up! You call yourself my wife, but you believe them over me.
He called my name 3 times. Samuel, Samuel, Samuel.
You're reaching.
No, like, you know.
Oh, some good moments from a character is now something we use in our good section.
Okay. They had different interior locations, which kept it fresh.
Oh, what happened to the
The positives that are in here are mainly in the things in the bad things that it didn't do, and these aren't positives for me.
Fine, let's just do the bad.
Take a seat. I've got this.
You think I don't have things to say?
This movie's time jumps are more confusing than Tenet.
Technically, Tenet doesn't.
And it doesn't utilize production design to help us identify what time we're in.
Aka could have been more charismatic. He's in this role where we're meant to believe he's a social butterfly that womanizes, but I can't help but see Aka constantly worrying about what his wife would think if he slaps Bum Bum with tenacity.
The movie starts a lot of stories it has no intentions of exploring or fleshing out.
Montage music? What's going on with the abortion story?
What's Aka's role in Rex's shady business?
What kind of business are we into?
What's the point of writing and shooting the abuse in this manner?
How does Rex die? Because surely she's past swallow levels of drug trafficking at the point she dies.
What makes Samuel become a successful pastor?
Is Samuel a successful pastor?
Why does Samuel return back to his father?
We've spent too much time on this. Kill it. All in all, this film is really not the best. I don't think it knows the audience it wants to cater to. It's too sweary and crass for Christians. Also, Christians aren't fond of having pastors painted in a bad light, or even as imperfect.
And to people it might want to preach to, nobody really represents a Christianity worth striving for.
Anyway, shout out to all the Nollywood Film Club members who were in our discussion last Sunday, and you can join them too if you follow us on Twitter.
We owe you guys a video on our recent drags. That's coming soon.
Subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to see that, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Mrs. Kemija Silva is here to tell us about what work has been done in Warif and what work she hopes to do in the next 1 year.
The narrative will tell you that the perpetrator is that person at home. So it's typically that husband or that caregiver. And so if we were to see and treat and counsel and send her back to her home, we're sending her back to a place of abuse.
I wonder who is helping to create such destructive narratives.